begun. Hello, WIDR, Kalamazoo. We have taken over. We are your source for radio evolution.
Hello there once again, and thanks for joining us on the Western News Review. It's been a minute. We've been on break for the winter break. Was it? Well, fall break, right?
Winter break, yeah.
Winter break. That's what it's called? Oh, okay. All right. But we've been away for a minute, and we're back once again this semester to bring you some of the stories that you find interesting, especially those that are published with the Western Herald newspaper. My name, as always, is Daniel Ebo, and today I'm joined by
Nicole and Eli.
Yay! All right. I feel like I haven't seen Eli in a while. I don't know.
You say
what
that
gives me
every
Yeah,
time.
I don't know. It's like you're so mysterious.
I work 4 jobs. I'm busy. I got places to be.
That makes sense.
I thought I was busy with 2.
What?
I thought I was busy with 2.
How's your break, though?
Mine?
Yeah.
Pretty uneventful, but good.
Were you in Kalamazoo or you went back home?
I was in Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
How's it there? The weather and all that?
Pretty much the same. Cold.
Oh, I mean, it's still Michigan. No.
Yeah.
Now that I think
It's only
about
about an hour and a half from here, so.
Oh, okay, cool. Had a great break?
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Nicole?
Also pretty good. I also went home to the Detroit area. Got to spend a lot of time with family. Saw nieces and nephews, which was really fun.
Awesome. And I got stuck in the snowstorm that hit recently.
Yeah.
Yes, I happened to be driving through it.
Oh,
and it was not fun.
Yeah.
It was my first time driving in the snow like
Oh,
that,
really?
actually. Yeah. In fact, in the snow ever. And it had to be a storm.
Yeah, that's... So you're right in the lines then, yeah.
Terrible. Couldn't see anything. But I mean, all in all, I had a good break. So we're glad to be back once again, serving the people of Kalamazoo and the Western community some trending stories. Today we're doing a couple of stories. There's this developing story about the student president resignation and the vice of as well. Interesting stuff. I will tell you more about that. There's also a call to raise the SAF. I think Student Assessments Fund is called, right?
Student assessment fee.
Fee, yes. I only messed up the F. Okay, and during MLK Day, which happened to be on the 15th of January, just this past Monday, there were some speeches here at WMU. We'll tell you some personalities that passed by and what they had to say. And of course, WMU is looking at a master plan. I will tell you what that is about in a minute. But let's begin off with the resignation of the vice president and then the president of the Western Students Association. And Nicole will give us Nicole
Yes.
give us that. I almost thought it was Eli. Okay.
Yeah. No, so this is a story that I wrote last Wednesday. So basically on Wednesday, the student body president, Kayla Bird, and vice president, Mariana Bringus, announced that they are resigning from their positions within the Western Student Association.
Wow.
There's about to be a lot of dates, so bear with me. But basically last December, on December 15th, Bird and Bringus both received notification that there were letters of expulsion that were set to be unsealed January 15th, so last Monday. And then on December 17th, Bird and Bringus were notified on December 17th. The articles of expulsion were presented to the speaker, Sam Longlet, on the 15th. But then those articles were not unsealed on Monday. And since Bird and Bringus had a month to think about what they wanted to do, knowing that articles of expulsion were going to be unsealed, they decided to step down, which they announced on Wednesday, January 17th.
Just 2 days ago.
Yes.
This is interesting, don't you find it, that both the president and the vice president all stepped down at the same time, creating such a huge void for the student administration?
Yeah. So I wasn't able to be at the meeting on Wednesday, so I don't 100% know completely what happened, but from what I was able to get from a letter written by Samuel Longlet, Alicia Ewing, and Trevor Milson, is that, they basically what I just said. The articles of expulsion were set to be unsealed. Then they decided to resign, and now the articles will remain sealed indefinitely. So as of now, we don't have a lot of information about what those articles contained and exactly what happened. I believe there was kind of a difference in leadership. It's something that unofficially I've heard was said at the meeting. So stay tuned. There is another article forthcoming.
Interesting.
This is just the information we have right now.
Yeah. So the update is that the president and the vice president of the Students Association have stepped down, I believe, to preempt the unsealing of the articles that Nicole just mentioned. But what does this mean? What's the way going forward then? So
obviously we need a new president and vice president. So I forget what her position was before, but Melissa Powers will step up as the new president. She was
Is she given the full, she is president.
She was the third person in the Bird Bringus Powers slate that ran for WSA, their positions last spring. So she is now the president, I believe, and Mason Durad is going to serve as the new interim vice president, and a vote for his confirmation is scheduled for January 31st.
Oh, so for the president, they don't need a different election for them. Not like a special vote, but the vice president, they need to confirm him.
I think I'm not super familiar with this process, and it's still pretty early. I haven't gotten in contact with someone to clarify things, but I'm pretty sure because Powers was part of the Bird Bringus Powers slate, she's just moving up. But because Durad wasn't part of that, he was never elected.
Oh, okay.
He has to be confirmed.
Okay. Interesting. Eli's looking at me like he has something to say. Do you?
I have nothing to say. I was looking at you hoping that you wouldn't ask me what I thought.
But yeah.
I obviously wasn't at the meeting, so I have no more information than anybody else does at this time.
Okay. Okay, so the tea is that they're out, and there's there's an interim acting executive body. I'm talking about the president and the vice president. As to how this issue unfolds, we'll bring you updates as and when they come. But let's switch attention from the student body and talk about student assessment fund. Fee. I keep saying fund. Fee.
It's close.
Potato. That's it works. But yeah, fee. Nicole again. We'll still Nicole, and Nicole bring us more about that. Tell us more about that. What is SAF? Because I keep messing up the name, but that's fund or fee. Tell us more.
Yep. So here we have an article written by our editor-in-chief, Cori Osterman. It's an editorial or opinion piece about raising the student assessment fee, or the SAF. Basically what it is a fee that each student has to pay each semester. Currently it's $42 per semester, and it goes toward funding RSOs, sorry, my mind blanked, such as the Western Student Association, Sports Club Council, Campus Activities Board, Graduate Student Association, WSA Allocations Committee, and the Student Media Group. And this fee hasn't been increased in several years, and obviously inflation has. So these groups are largely struggling to have enough funding to just fund the things that they need to. So there's currently a petition going around to raise the SAF from $42 to $62
And interesting. I want to find your thoughts on this. I just realized I thought about this question. I just realized not in the document, but how are students going to take this? Because no one likes to pay more money, you know.
I think it depends on how the information is presented, because I remember this being brought up last year during the WSA elections, and this was something that the Longlet, Melson, Kasperzak slate wanted to do, and I saw it and I was like, who wants to pay more money every semester? But it is only $20 per semester, which isn't a lot. And as Cori points out in this article, there is a maximum amount that Michigan universities can raise tuition each year or semester, each year. And so increasing the SAF will decrease how much they can raise tuition. So it kind of evens out. But also, I think it's just important to remember the value that these organizations bring to campus and how much all of us benefit from them. Even if we don't realize how much they do, we all see effects and benefits from these organizations, and especially those in them.
And this fees will fund the likes of Western Herald, the student media groups?
Yep. The Western Herald and WIDR, or the larger student media group, is one of the RSOs that receives funding. But we're not the only ones. WSA is obviously a big one that receives funding from this, and WSA and the Allocations Committee, which is also a part of this, they provide funding for many RSOs. If you go to almost any voting meeting, there will be RSOs there asking for more funding for the equipment that they need, conferences that they want to go to, things like that. So it affects more than just these organizations.
Well, that sounds like a good call then. I was worried about, increasing the fees that students have to pay and what inconveniences that might come with it. But now that you talk about, where these monies go to, I think it makes a lot of sense then to talk about it. But what steps are being taken for this? So what's the plan to get the increment?
Yeah, so like I was saying, there's a petition that is going around for students to sign. It's linked at the end of this article, so if anybody is listening that hasn't signed this and is interested in doing it, go to that article, sign the petition that's linked at the bottom. And what the petition does is, if they get enough signatures, it will be added to the ballot later in the spring when students vote for the next WSA president. So signing the petition doesn't increase the SAF, it just gets it on the ballot so students can vote to increase the SAF.
All right. So signing just legitimizes the issue for voting, and then hopefully they can get it to pass in WSA.
Yes, in February.
All right. Good luck with the proponents of these issue and the petition. And for students who are listening, just like Nicole said, there's a link in the story on the Western Herald newspaper. Go there, click the sign the petition. Don't just think about the money you're paying. Also think about where it's going to. As long as it's being put to good use, I'm sure students would want to favor this petition. All right, and
it is also only It is also only $20 for 4 months. It is, in my opinion, a pretty insignificant amount for each student. 4 months total, not each month.
Not each month.
But when you think about how many students there are, it will greatly help these organizations.
All right.
Sorry.
Nico has the last bite on that. You had the woman. Okay, let's go to Eli now. You've been sitting for some time. Let's hear you on the Martin Luther King Day and some of the events that took place. Tell us about Shabazz.
Yeah, sure. So Shabazz is an author, and she's a social activist for self-care, social justice, diversity and inclusion. She is also the daughter of Malcolm X, which she has written some of her award-winning books about, what it was like growing up in his shadow, and just kind of what that experience felt like for her. And she visited campus to talk about diversity and inclusion and how to bring more equity to campus on Martin Luther King Day.
Great. Tell us about what specific things she said in terms of, you mentioned diversity and equity. What are some steps she outlined to eradicate those disparities, not eradicate diversity, eradicate disparities?
Yeah. So she really posed the question to students about what they were going to stand for and what they were willing to stand for, and just kind of the kind of resources that are available to sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
To students?
Yeah, to students, just to promote that kind of diversity and equity on campus, because there's a lot of different ways that you can go with that, whether it's like some of the things outlined in the article are education, equal rights, social media, community, all of these different things where we see diversity and equity in our everyday life. And she really just talked about, like, where are you going to stand on those issues, and how are you going to push that narrative of diversity and equity in those spaces.
That's great, and especially in the month of January being a Black History Month, it's a great time to remind ourselves of equity and diversity and whatnot. So some great insights from her. I think some of the things she spoke about, equity and funding and recruiting Black teachers and curriculum, etc. Great. I didn't know we had the daughter of Malcolm X on campus. I would have been there.
Well, it was very, I think it was right in the middle of the snowstorm.
Excellent.
To my knowledge, I believe that the talk was supposed to take place in Miller Auditorium. They had to move it like very last minute to.
I think I got an email about that. I didn't know what that was about.
I think they were having technical difficulties. I think someone told me that like the fire alarm was going off when she showed up. So
I think they were just having some technical difficulties last minute at Miller. But the talk still happened. The show must go on. So but it was still. I wasn't able to attend, unfortunately. But I'm sure, based on what I've heard and all of the talk I've heard online about how she's really pushing for diversity and equity using her platform, I'm sure it was very insightful. And I think it's great that we had somebody here on campus to speak on those issues with some experience.
Awesome. All right. So diversity, great. Talking about campus, there's a new plan to improve how campus looks like. Wait, is it how campus looks like? Well, Eli, let's leave that up till Eli to tell us more about the plan. Yeah.
Sure. So a campus master plan is basically a multi-year plan that develops the infrastructure of campus, so the physical architecture and structure of campus.
So basically how campus look like.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah. And
Good
so
job,
the previous master plan was established nearly 25 years ago, and it was created with the physical development of campus in mind. And so all of like the newer buildings that we see in campus, Sangra, and even the new student center were developed under that previous master plan.
Wow, 25 years ago?
Yes, 25 years ago. So I'm not saying that the student center was, in mind 25 years ago, but I'm saying that the previous master plan had been in
existence.
Yeah, had been used up until this point when they recently announced the new one. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information yet, but the email that was sent out to the student body did emphasize the importance of student voices in the new master plan, and how it's really important to them that students feel that they have the right to say what they feel would make campus a better space, a safer space, a more equitable space, all of these things. So they will be hosting some ways for students to engage, some input sessions that students are invited to for the campus master plan, and those dates will be announced in the next couple months.
I'm gonna put you on the spot and ask what you'd like to see on campus.
What I'd like to see on campus? I'd really like to see, kind of what we were talking about with the student assessment fee, I'd really like to see more funding and more spaces for communities to come together, more places for organizations to hold events and host events that bring students together. And then I'd also love to see more funding in our arts programs, our journalism programs. So with new, I know with Dunbar Hall, the new building, I'm looking forward to seeing that when it's done.
I hear it's going to be open in this semester.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully.
Later this semester or over the summer. But I do think it's really important to balance out all of those different aspects of campus. I think every aspect of campus is important no matter what your major or program or college is. I think that you deserve the same, equipment and technology and building and funding as anybody else. So I hope that they're able to spread that out evenly across all of campus.
Campuses. That's great. And Nicole, you want to tell us about, what's your thoughts on, campus as it is now, in terms of what you see, would you say we're doing enough in terms of infrastructure? I know we've had a conversation about, how campus looks like and how beautiful it is and all that. You think we can do more?
I haven't thought about this. I think Western has been kind of moving in the direction of making campus more aesthetically pleasing. Looking at some of the older buildings like Henry Hall, Bernard Center, some of them are a bit boring. But I like how Sangren looks from the outside. I think it looks pretty nice. Same with, Miller. Some people complain about Waldo, the library and the clock tower and the computer space. I kind of like it.
Me too.
It's unique.
I have a picture there on my Instagram.
It's unique.
Background.
Just the library?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting choice.
Our personal opinions do not reflect those.
I find Waldo interesting a little bit, to be honest, because one side looks pretty modern with the windows going across the whole thing and kind of a tiled side, and then you go to the back of it and it's brick.
Yeah, Victorian.
So I'm a little curious about that. Anyway.
Yeah. We're just. You're right. Campus. We have made some strides in terms of the aesthetics, and I believe
in some places my computer's turned off. There could be some more I'm looking at a picture of Waldo right now, and there's the little garden in front of it. I think over by I feel Arcadia kind of area, by the rec, might benefit from something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe not.
Hopefully, you put all those thoughts in when they make what'd you say they were going to make something available?
Yeah, they're going to have
inputs?
some input sessions and some. Yeah. They haven't really expanded on it yet, but they did say in their email that they would have ways for students to engage.
Okay, so when it comes, Eli wants more funding for SAF and spaces for RSOs.
Well, the master plan does not reflect the student assessment. But yes,
for those who sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for those who don't know what a campus master plan is, essentially, it is a multi-year plan. We say the last one was developed 25 years ago. That doesn't mean it's outdated. It's meant to last a long time, and it's always changing. So when Eli said that the student center wasn't necessarily in that master plan, they probably had an idea of we need a student center, but they didn't know exactly what that would look like.
Yeah.
So essentially, they assess the needs of what Western needs right now, and then
it's also super weird to think about 25 years ago was the year 2000 basically. It was when I first think of it, I'm that was 1985 or whatever, but that was 2000.
I did not, but okay, Eli.
I feel like I'm too old at this point. Because saying 25 years ago feels like it was, like you said, in the 80s or something, man. No.
That's how I feel.
At best,
I can
99.
still say I wasn't born yet, so I'm good.
I was born. That scares me. All right, so that's been some information on the student master plan. Once the plan starts roll out, or once they start accepting inputs from students, we'll let you know. Keep checking the Western Herald website, and I'm sure we're going to provide updates on that. We've been talking today about the resignation of the president of the Western Students Association as well as the vice president. They've been replaced, I guess, temporarily by someone in the administration, and then someone new as well.
They're not going to
I mean,
Not replaced, but filling their shoes.
someone is taking over their role.
Yeah, someone is filling their shoes, I guess, in the interim. So that's happened. I will bring you more updates. It's still a development story. We don't really know the cause of the resignation. Once we find that out, I'm sure there'll be articles on the Western Herald News website telling you about that. We've been discussing the student assessments fund as well. Not fund. I keep saying fund. Fee as well, being increased by $20. So
similar meaning. It works.
Go to the Western Herald newspaper website and sign a petition if you support this idea. I do support it because I'm in an RSO, so it's going to go a long way to help with the work that we do here, especially if you value the work that the Western Herald does and WIDR does and all the various RSOs. You want to put your voice out there in support of raising the kind of funding that they get. We've talked about MLK as well, talking about Shabazz and equity. It's something to think about, especially in Black History Month. And finally, we ended on a note of the campus master plan. Thank you so much for making a date with us. What are your plans for the weekend, by the way?
My fiance is coming tomorrow, so
Exciting.
Because I saw you twisting your ring. I was like, okay, that makes sense now that you say it.
So we're just gonna probably go to the rec, play some games with my friends, then go to the hockey game.
Oh.
So that's
Are you a
exciting.
fan of hockey?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you understand it?
Mostly.
Because I still don't understand American football. I don't know why.
Yeah, me either.
I've been to a couple of games and I still don't know how it works.
That and hockey I've been learning through my college career. I have a friend who played hockey, so I'm always texting him
Finding out more.
what does this mean? Why did they do this? Yeah. But it's fun to watch.
I'm going to be I have some orientation sessions I have to do I'm taking intro to video production this semester, and so I've got some orientation sessions I've got to attend, and then I've also got to go downtown, get some filming done for that.
Oh.
And then probably some editing. I got some work stuff I got to get done, so pretty non-eventful weekend for me. But
You guys
That's
busy.
the life for you. Always busy.
I'm always busy, dude.
Yeah, and what are my plans for the weekend? I'm not sure. I'll figure something out, but hopefully hang out with friends as well. Thank you so much for making time with us. Today's production or today's recording has been ably produced by Aiden. I wish he could say shout outs, but he's busy, on his console and doing all the technical stuff. So shout out to Aiden for aiding with production. Well, no pun intended.
Aiden Lambert. Shout out to Kayla.
Shout out to Kayla as well.
Aiden's sister.
Yeah, I met with Kayla, I think that was yesterday or 2 days ago. She came to me for some interview stuff. So shout out to you as well. Hope to see you next week and we can discuss transitioning, because Eli doesn't want to discuss that.
Wait, what?
Transitioning. Hosting.
Oh, no. Good.
Okay, but for now, stay safe. It's cold, stay warm, and catch you same time next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.